Hello, wonderful people. I hope you're well. I'm Kat, founder of Movement for Modern Life. And tonight I have a real special treat. I'm going to be talking, I hope, to Sifu Matthew Cohen. Oh, hello, Sam. Hiya, Emma. It's great to see you here. So today I wanted to talk about Sifu Matthew Cohen, and he's an amazing teacher who I've had the luck of doing a retreat with. It was a qigong and sacred energy arts retreat, and it's a really amazing practice. Matthew's been, he's been teaching for years and years, decades. Hello. Matthew is here, and let me, hang on, before I do all the introductions, I'm going to see if I can get him to join. So, Matthew Cohen, let's see if we can get him on, because it would be so cool to have a chat. Hold on.
Am I on?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Great to see you. How are you?
I'm well. There we go. Okay.
So where are you? So, okay, first things first. Your name, Sifu Matthew Cohen. Are we good to call you Matthew? Would you prefer to be called Sifu? What do you prefer?
Matthew is absolutely fine. Sifu is just a title. Matthew.
Sifu is a title. Yeah. Okay. And we can go into that in a bit.
Sure.
Because my peoples don't know all about your peoples. So we need to get everyone getting to know everybody else. This is like a meet and greet introduction session. So where are you based? Where are you right now?
California, on the beach. There's it's a bit humid today because we had a bit of a tropical storm. In Oxnard, which is between Los Angeles. Now, are you guys able to hear me, or is it just Matthew who has gone, or is it you guys who've gone? Will you let me know in a comment if you're able to hear me? Because I'd just like to know if it's me or Matthew. I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm here, aren't I? Matthew, come back. Come back. We're just starting. We want to hear about being on a beach. We want to know about this. Yeah. Hi, Emma. Oh, here we are. You're back. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Well, I'm back.
Okay, you're back.
Here. We're not here.
But you're here. So maybe that's a tropical storm.
It could be. Yeah, we had one coming in from Mexico, so hopefully it'll hold. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so California coast, between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara.
Amazing. That sounds very, very, very beautiful from where I'm sitting. I'm a little bit jealous, but also I'm in the green woodlands here in Sussex countryside, so swings and roundabouts.
It's so beautiful. Last time we were sitting down was in Norfolk, and it was so green. And I love it. So
yeah, that's right. So I got to know Matthew on a retreat, and so you're teaching at one of the big London studios, because you used to do a lot of workshops here in London. You probably still do come down to this neck of the woods every now and again and do qigong and sacred energy arts workshops. You have taught and worked with very closely Mimi Kuadima, haven't you?
I have, yeah, absolutely. Mimi came to class when I was teaching at Sacred Movement 20 years ago.
20 years ago, wow.
Time she had just opened a school in China. She was trained in California. She took class, and she enjoyed it and invited me out. So I started teaching in China. She did the teacher training. Wow. We became friends, colleagues, and I've known Mimi a long time.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, she is so popular with our movers, and I've actually just come back from one of her retreats. So I am very grateful to you for all the work that you both do together, because I believe that everybody's work always infuses each other's, and especially working
yoga, qigong mixes. It's brilliant. So a little bit, I wanted to ask you, now I've got some very pointed questions,
Okay.
which we've asked our movers. So maybe I'll dive into the questions first, because as a result of the questions, there might be some more questions from you guys who are on here live. So, but do feel free, guys, who are joining us live, to comment and to question as we're going along. So we've got energy related questions because, of course, the work that you're doing, that I've experienced, the experience that I have, and that I've told the movers about the experience, is it's about an energy cultivation. It's about a way of using and finding a different kind of energetic resonance in the body. Is that fair? Is that how you would sort of describe?
Yeah, absolutely. So the work is a fusion. Sacred energy arts is a fusion, which I think of, you know, Dhamma Buddha came from India and taught the Buddhist monks. So the Shaolin and the yogic and Kung Fu line is already there all the way back. The Taoists, of course, were also influenced early on by shamanic practices. So qigong has a shamanic, Buddhist, and Taoist roots. So to me, they're all linked originally anyway.
Yes.
I call the work sacred energy arts. So sacred, not necessarily in a religious term, but something close to my heart. Energy is the through line for all of the work in life. The more energy we have, the more the quality of energy is smooth and high, the better life is. And art to me is that life is sort of, we have an option to make our life artistic. So we can become, in a sense, the subject and the object. So that was the way I looked at it when I was starting to put this together. I was a dancer, martial artist. I've practiced yoga since I was a boy, and qigong really, more than anything else, kind of, I got the bug when I first started to feel energy as a kid. And the idea that we can regulate and manage our energy through intention and through aligned action is really beautiful. And it's not new, but it's lovely. So I like the idea that I can play with energy based in intention through everything I do, through how we want to live, through what we eat, what we think, what we do, what we practice, what we absorb, how we breathe. And it allows things to be a little more nuanced in a practice, you know? So for instance, if I want to focus and I'm looking at breath and I take a 3-count inhale, if I layer that with my intention that when I breathe in oxygen, I'm also breathing in chi, which we are, life force. And with that, I'm going to empower my intention for being present with you, Kat, or in this moment, or then that 3-count inhale is linked to my bigger why, and I'm gathering chi. When I exhale, if my intention is to release tension, anxiety, negativity, fear, anything known or unknown that separates me from the truth, then my exhale is going to do something quite potent. Along with that, if my exhale is, I imagine that I'm storing chi in my heart, in my dantian, in my bones, then the exhale has 2 purposes, like one to release tension, the other is to store chi. So in that sense, the breath with intention can become qigong. If I take that same 3-count breath and I want a little more upregulation because I'm going to need energy to get on Instagram live because I don't do that and I'm a bit of a dinosaur, and it's like, how does it work? Then that 3-count inhale will be a little more open the diameter, the amplitude. Not necessarily breathe in for 5 counts. I might still choose 3, but I'll add more diameter to the breath. If I want to down regulate, then I might, on the exhale, really envision myself like a stone falling in water, dropping down to my dantian to be here. So that might be an example of how to layer something like breath, but it changes the way the energy is experienced. It becomes more nuanced. I don't know if that lands, but that would
that's really potent.
Yeah,
I love that, and I love how we're using the intention with the breath to become a bit more of a nuanced, and I like making it an artistic experience of living life. I like the thought that we can be artists painting the version that we're looking for. I think that's pretty cool. So if we're I'm now just turning to the questions that we've had about your work. So we've got somebody, one of our movers has got chronic fatigue, which is unfortunately something that's quite common. A lot of people have got this. And she's wondering, is this something that can really be helped with the kind of work that you're doing? Is it something that you've worked before, or is this something that's a little bit outside this remit? What do you think?
I have worked with it. I do believe it can be helped. I don't think it's do one thing and it's fixed.
No.
Qigong, yoga, in this case, I'm talking about sacred energy arts. Whatever work one is doing, I think it has to be holistic. And really, I'm thinking that it isn't just the exercise. It has to be a lifestyle. As cliche as that is, it has to be one's life. So if I want more energy, the first thing is I'm going to look at the things that I can't live without for long. So if I can't live without my breath for more than 3 minutes, then I'm going to really focus on my breath and do what I just spoke about, right? When I breathe in, empowering me. When I breathe out, I'm releasing stress. That's going to give me more because I have less stress if I truly downregulate. So learning to breathe consciously is a game changer. If I can't live without food for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, maybe more than that, but not long.
I'm thinking 3-4 hours, but
Yeah. Some people have gone a long time without food. Then the food that I put in my body is going to be good quality. And again, this is obvious, but if we put in food that's closer to the earth, more colors of the rainbow, we can pronounce it. It's going to give us energy. So what we eat, what we think, how we breathe, how we hydrate, all of these things first. Then exercise, of course, and qigong and yoga is part of that. Also, what stage in life is one in? So in a Taoist idea, you train 10 years ahead. That doesn't mean that I'm always looking to the future. I'm going to train where I'm at now, but I'm training for my late 60s. I'm in my late 50s, so I'm trained for my late 60s. How will I be when I get there? If I'm training for my 40s, it's dinosaur dung, it's over. It's only going to pull me back into something that it probably isn't reasonable for me. So train for the season you're in, not just the season. Now it's summer, so we would consider that in relationship to Ayurvedic or Taoist practices, but also what season are you in? So I would say all of these things relate to having more energy. Then once you have your big why am I doing what I'm doing on this planet? How am I living? Is it aligned with what I want to do? And anything that's not aligned with what I want to do perhaps goes. Relationships that aren't working, cut all of that dead wood so you have more energy. Then your movements are going to be aligned with what you really want. Now, having said that, some people have less energy because they have chronic fatigue or Epstein-Barr or some other condition, and they're doing everything right and they still have less energy. So then I would also look at from there, how can I change my relationship to energy and my relationship to pain? So that perhaps you're sleeping well, eating well, hydrating, practicing qigong, have aligned actions and released any of the relationships that aren't working, and still feel like, crap, I don't have enough energy. Okay, I'm going to take myself off the hook and be okay with what is. Right now, I don't have a lot of energy. Okay, can I be okay with that?
Yeah.
And if I can be okay with what is, then in a sense, I'm enlightened. Doesn't mean I agree with what is, but I can be okay with it. If you can be okay with it, you're enlightened in a sense, right? Then the relationship changes to pain, to attachment, to contraction. And I find at that moment, some chi will come into the body again, and then a little more energy comes in.
Right.
Because a lot of these practices nourish the body. They nourish the soul, they nourish the body, they nourish our relationships. And in that subtle nourishment, you're watering roots and things start to grow. So long-winded, but it's a lifestyle. It isn't just, do a little qigong and suddenly everything goes away. That would be unrealistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I think that's really lovely. It's a very beautiful answer and a very real one. And I think it sounds like there's a little bit of help and support through these practices for people perhaps who are struggling with energy through chronic fatigue or other conditions. And there's somebody who's asked about sleeplessness. When you're struggling, when any of us, and I certainly have days when I'm feeling too jittery, too overexcited, I can't sleep. And then sometimes there are periods in my life when I'm anxious and I can't sleep. And we've had a mover ask this question. It's like, will this help to potentially stabilize sleep? What do you think?
Absolutely. Again, taking into consideration everything I just, I won't reiterate that, but once lifestyle in order, qigong in particular, but yoga as well, right, can allow us to down regulate, to be rest parasympathetic nervous system response, so that you relax without lethargy. You get energy without agitation. So any exercise, and I think the real beauty of what I'm sharing and what I've been taught is how we use things. So if the exercise like breath, and I just described the same Ujjayi breath, or it could be a Taoist breath, or label it whatever you want. You can take one breath, and the way you change it, a little more treble, a little more bass, based in your intention, then the music shifts and you get that tone. Oh, there it is. And the resonance is correct. Then the body gets into resonance and coherence, and everything starts to get online. Or maybe shaking. So shaking is a qigong practice. It's every, like you do it in acting class, right? Shake, 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 shake. Well, okay, so this is easy. But if I'm shaking, and one teacher might say, well, this has been taught to me only to drop my chi, to drop my energy down. Sure, but can I also shake like a bartender shaking a martini to allow things to become more effervescent and oxygenated, right? Absolutely. Can I do both at the same time? For sure. I can shake and ask my body to down-regulate and ground while simultaneously waking up. And at the end of that shake, I'll have more oxygen, nitric oxide, my chi will be dropped, and awake. So if you really understand how to use your intention, and that's what I want to lean into with the teaching, things can change. And this is what allows, I think, in some form of mastery to come, or skill to come. If I haven't slept well and I wake up and I have to do something, there might be allergies or a storm or whatever, what am I doing next? I would look at that first. What is it? Is it this, where I have to be calm, but also talk, be able to see you, communicate? So, okay, or is it teaching a boxing lesson? Or is it teaching stillness? You know, what am I doing? What am I going to need energetically, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and psychically for that event? Then I can start to treble bass and tweak it a little bit. I would say some of the basic things would be, for general, if you can't sleep and you're trying to get to bed, change your temperature, thermal regulation. Get the room colder, take a hot bath, and then after the bath, get into covers. You'll drop your temperature, and the room will be cool and dark, and you'll start to drop a couple degrees and sleep. Or put your feet up the wall, or have some calming tea. Have an electronic sundown. Get rid of all the EMFs and all the crap at sundown so the house is quiet, and just drop into that stillness. In the morning, if all that failed and I wake up and I still feel like crap, then I would thermal regulate again. I would, and there's different, Taoists sometimes would, and Buddhists sometimes traditionally would get in cold water, or like Milarepa. Others say, no, you have to see what works for you, how strong your chi is. For me, I live by the ocean, so I'm going to jump in the ocean, or I'm going to stick my head in some cold water and wake up. Then I'm going to stretch everything, get to the fingertips, get to my toes, get to the crown of the head, and stretch everything. Bring my heart up and open, not just in a heart-opening posture, but literally try to crack that open a little bit while I'm in a back bend so that I can upregulate a little bit. Then if I do all of that, thermoregulation, stretch, open my heart, align with what I'm doing next, usually that'll give me enough to get me through. If that doesn't work, then I might rely on something like pu'er tea or some caffeine, but I'm going to try to not necessarily do it, but fair enough, to get through. And then afterwards, I might do a little after action report and see, where did I fail? Where could I do better? Maybe fail is a heavy word, but where did I not do what was aligned? How can I change that? And if all that doesn't quite work, I'll ask for support from a team, an acupuncturist, a teacher, a friend, and say, hey, I'm having trouble sleeping this last month. And they say, well, are you worried about anything? What's going on? Oh, this is heavy on my heart. So I would look at it holistically as opposed to solely what's the exercise.
Yeah, right.
And that's just me, because I think a lot of people these days will say, hey, what's the best thing that I can do? And it sounds great for marketing, but it's BS to me. Okay, like, what's the best for you today, now? I don't know, but that's part of the teaching. Part of the teaching is to be the guru, right? To find your truth, satya, truth, and to be a guru, like your own teacher. So I like the idea, if the word teacher is he or she who dispels darkness, well then if you're in darkness and you can't see and you go, it's a hand. Oh, it's my hand. You get a little perspective, you can see a little better. So I would say, the Socratic process would help. Thermoregulation would help. Stretching would help. Maybe a little clearing. In qigong, clear. So you've all seen this, but the analogy I use is the screen on a French press. And when the screen goes down, you get a really good flat white or a good cup of tea, right? So once the screen goes down, if I'm doing this and I'm aligned with my why, and I'm exhaling gently, and I'm releasing anything that doesn't serve me, then usually by the time I get done with it, maybe just one movement, I'm brighter, I'm more present, and I'm more awake. So I don't know if that answers your question.
I really like that answer. I really thought that was a very beautiful meander, because it showed the kind of teachings that you're going to be teaching on our workshop and the kinds of things that people will be able to expect. And I love that, it's not like this is going to solve all of your problems if you just breathe 4, 7, 8 or whatever it is that people,
right.
Because that's the thing for marketing and for so on Instagram, this is the answer. Well, actually, life is more nuanced than that. It depends when and where and who and how and the intention behind it. And we'd love there to be one simple answer. But I think the nice thing about the workshop is going to be a taste. But what I'm hoping that you're going to do, and this is a sneaky hope that I'm sharing with you, and I'm not quite sure if I should be doing it live, but life is short. So, you know what? Maybe I'm hoping that after the workshop, you'll be able to teach a course that's continuous over a period of weeks so that people can gain a little bit more understanding of their own body and a little bit more trial and test of how do these practices sort of help their lives. Because I think it's sort of working with a teacher on a slightly more ongoing basis that you get that sort of that level of discernment. Do you think? What do you think?
I'm open to it. Let's see where it goes. And I like the idea of certainly I like the idea of going deeper, right? Because it's very easy to say, a tactical breath or, a 5, 6, 7 breath or whatever right? Breath is the answer. Ujjayi is the answer. And it's too simple, and it's not sophisticated enough, and it's not honest enough. So hopefully there will be something in this for someone, maybe for everyone who joins. Not everything, for sure. It's, cilantro. Some people love it, some people hate it. Maybe I'm similar. So that's okay. Will there be something to hang your hat on that you can then utilize in your life? And then over time, as you understand, you, I, one understands how to use these things, how to use intention, how to use attention. Attention is also really important because you can have intention and then not know how to be present. And the intention goes out the window. So when you have attention, that's a little bit different. And you see this with, Dia de los Muertos. You see it with the Celts. You see it in Buddhism. You see it with shaman. Death is in the room, in the corner, not right in front of you, but it's in the room always. So when death is in the room over your shoulder, you pay attention. The Stoics knew this as well, right? So then life is short, as you just said, right? So that'll allow us to be present. Then you have your intention and attention focused, and we can start to then navigate through exercises that will really hopefully allow us to understand how to use the practice. And I think that it's in some ways quite simple, right? It's paying attention to energy and knowing what you want and being up for the adventure. So yeah, I'd be certainly open to that. One of my great joys in life is to have community and to talk to people about these things, and then to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yes.
And
Yes.
open to changing those things. A practice,
Yes.
what maybe it's Ashtanga for one person and that works for a while, for another Tai Chi, for another qigong, maybe it's a blend. For me, it's a blend because each one of these practices becomes a slightly different ally for me and slightly different friend. And they all have their own personality, as do I. So you can choose what shirt you want to wear that day, so to speak, and
Yes.
then they blend too. They dovetail and they are layered. And in that sense, I think the mutt approach is a little stronger than the purebred for me. Not better, just more interesting, right? So this is a little more of a mutt approach in the sense that there's a few different things that I'll try to bring together, hopefully, in a way that people can engage in. So that'd be my hope.
Yeah, that sounds brilliant. Absolutely lovely. Thank you. Perfect. And Emma, yes, it's I love that intention, attention, the relationship between that. I love that you also picked up on that. And Emma, you've also said self-knowledge of what you want, but also what you need. Yeah, that's a discernment. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be here and thinking about these things. And Candace says, "Hey, brother," to you. Hey. So this is nice. We have nice community. I feel that there's a good feeling behind a level of excitement with the movers and the work that you're up to. I think that people are interested in this, how we're going to use our intention, how we're going to use our attention, how we're going to, oh my gosh, he's left. But we're going to quickly get Matthew back again. Where is he? Because that was a bit of a sharp exit. That was a sharp exit room. Where have we got you, Matthew? Where have you gone? Oh my gosh. Well, let's hope that we can get Matthew back. The nice thing is that was a flipping great conversation. Energy, attention, intention, the relationship. It's not all one size fits all, which is real. And that's really cool. I just like that. Anyway, Matthew's workshop is on next week. I think the link is in the bio type thingy. Take a look because it's going to be really, really cool. And also, if there are some of you who would like to work with Matthew on an ongoing basis, because I would, and as you all know, Movement for Modern Life is kind of the stuff which I find cool and I want to work with. So I think that it would be very cool to be able to join. Oh, we've got a message from Instagram that Matthew's unable to join. Okay. So technical issues, there we have it. It must be the storms in California. But listen, I've really appreciated hearing from you, seeing you, your questions. Thank you for joining and interacting in your hearts along the way. It's meaningful because otherwise it's just me talking to my phone. in a room, which is not fun. But what is fun is the community, the connection, and knowing that we're all just making a bit of a difference to our lives. And energy, I think, energy is everything. So I'm really excited. I'm really thrilled that Matthew said that he'll do this workshop, because he's a hell of a cool guy. All right, Mind of Myth, thank you too. All right, much love. Oh, you're here. Hang on. But it says that you can't join. This is so weird, Matthew. Let's see. I think we were pretty much wrapping up, but let's see. Yay, there you go.
Well,
you're back.
Trickster was in the room.
Ah.
I think it's all good. All right. I don't know what you said, but I'm here and ready to do it. I'm looking forward to meeting the community. I'm looking forward to teaching. Yeah. Any final words, any questions, any thoughts?
From me, no. I think that it's been lovely to chat. And Emma said you're making a difference by making these connections. Thank you. So I think all that is to be said is to say a big thank you. Cannot wait for next week. So grab a space in a link which is either up or down. Do come and join us, and hopefully we'll be able to work on this a little bit more in depth with you, Matthew. I would flipping love that. And I'm selfish. Movement for Modern Life is about the things that I love and I'm interested in, and I want to explore more. So I really hope we get to do this. I hope so
too. I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to working with the community, seeing you again, hopefully live at some point in the same.
Yes.
And yeah, this will be a good time.
Cool.
It'll be fun.
All right. Well, much love, everybody, and thank you. Take care, Matthew.
Take care, guys.
Bye.